What a tale of events, and let me tell you, this YCS has not disappointed in terms of the commentary. Don't make 30% of you guys are not smash that little crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can climb up the 100K ladder. On your screen here is your breakdown for top, 64 at the end of round 9. You know what? I'll give it to you, Konami. It's not every day you pull up a breakdown like this and really catch my attention. I actually think that was really good of you. We had 13 Sword Soul, 10 Yi. Actually, 10 Yi Sword Soul pulling ahead here in terms of over 1,000 players at the end of round 9 of Swiss. That's very impressive. All right, as we head on into Top Cut tomorrow, we'll kind of see a little bit of a difference for that. But we also had 9 Despia branded. All right, let's give it up at this point in time. You already knew that branded was going to be this massive tipping scales powerhouse, ladies and gentlemen. You do see that it continues its dominance down the train here of being that top contender here. Now, the thing that surprises me here is actually 5 Sky Striker. Now, I'm actually pretty impressed with this. 3 Pure, and then 2 Adventure Sky Striker. Now, I kind of thought that Adventure Striker had fallen off with the loss of, Verte Anaconda, because honestly, you don't serve much of a purpose in terms of being able to climb up and do these real sorts of, link plays that you were kind of more known for at that point in time. So actually, interestingly enough, they're still functioning. So I guess the adventure package gives this deck a little bit more of an oomph to the floor for going second, which is something that you really want to see here. We also had 5 branded decks. Now, this is going to encompass 2 Eldritch and 2 Predapants. And yes, the Predaplant variant, if you guys haven't noticed, has actually been kind of making some little waves here. I think a lot of players kind of overall were like, oh, the Predaplant build, just toss it in the trash heap. But a lot of players this weekend kind of did turn heads with it. Jesse Cotton giving the swiftest 2-0 on the feature match was very impressive. We also had 4 Flaunderies in Top Cut. Not surprised about that at all, to be honest with you. I mean, that deck will always kind of be present in terms of development for the format. We also had 4 Punk Adventure. You know what? Kudos to you, Punk, for getting the chance to finally stand up here and sit at the dinner table. Now, we had 4 Synchro decks. Now, I'm not sure what the classification for Punk Synchro is. Is this just we're not playing the adventure package in this, or are we doing more Thurion stuff? I'm not exactly sure on the classification of that from Konami, but all right. And then we had 1 Synchro Synchron deck. Is that an actual functioning Synchro Turbo deck that is able to kind of keep up with the meta? Because that is particularly interesting to me. We had 3 Drytron in Top Cut, or excuse me, in the top 64 as of round 9, which, okay, I'll give it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing the Drytron did lose a lot of, once again, its oomph, and is still competing very good. Now we're down here in the Thurion department. We only have 2 Thurion Sun Avalon decks listed at this point in time, and I will say, if you were not prepared for that deck, you're just going to have a massively bad time, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, the Sun Avalon normal summon start full combo is actually crazy. And then we have 1 Punk Thurion, which, as we saw out of the Pasadena regional breakdown, what you were kind of expecting with that. Then we had 2 Dragon Links. Dragon Link got really pushed down there, right? It would be very interesting to see an event go by without a single Dragon Link in Top Cut. We also had 1 Adignister working its way up here, which is okay. ABC Adventure Thurion still making its way up here as well. And then we have DDD, Eldritch Invoked, okay. Mech Knight, a Plunder Patrol, wonder if that's Douglas at Odd, and then we had 6 unaccounted for decks out of this. And just looking at this breakdown, this is some of the most diverse Yu-Gi-Oh! That I have seen in how long at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen? We always talk about formats and things being a little bit off. Well, I mean, even though this is shaping up to somehow be a Sword Soul, shenanigans brawl, All right. There's also an Earth Machine deck or Earth Box or whatever you want to call it that was evidently on stream at the end of the day here. Something to kind of really consider. That deck is still kind of competing and doing things at the end of the day. And I think that that's actually something very, very, very cool to kind of keep up and consider. That if Earthbox is still keeping up back here, yeah, that's not too bad. I want to talk about a little bit more of the YCS here. This YCS was no short of hilarious moments. Of course, I think the most interesting thing this weekend was really just the recursion of, or how like crazy Mystic Mine actually was. We got to see MBT get lost in his own mind during the first feature match. Though I will say, I have been a little bit harsh on Libromancers. The deck did exactly as I expected it. It will do good, and then it bricks. There's a whole crusade of people out here. They're like, Robbie, you're wrong about Libromancers. No, I'm not. All right, you got to see how the deck works. All right, it goes off a game, and then it has consistency issues. Welcome to high-rolling decks, ladies and gentlemen. It goes to prove that a deck like that can perform, but it lacks the consistency keep up with the rest of the top cut. And you know what? You're welcome to believe in the deck, and that's fine. You know, prove me wrong, get these tops, make the deck better known. But because of the consistency issues, it can't really keep up. It's almost like Yu-Gi-Oh's a game where consistency matters. Weird. But we did get to see Mystic Mine this weekend be a pretty interesting little troublesome card, which I will say is actually kind of interesting. Just watching deck out from Hunter Lloyd on stream in the 2 feature matches that I paid attention for that was absolutely hilarious. We also got to see the WCQ prizes for this year. You know, we'll put up the little Nibiru mat here so you can see how awesome this is. But if you're going to the WCQ this year, honestly, these might be some of the coolest things. You also have like the little card sleeves and things like that. I'm not going to show that here because I'm sure most of you guys saw that. But to be honest with you, those are some of the coolest participation prizes that I have seen in quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, kudos to Konami for pulling that off. Other impactful things out of this weekend, Konami actually played an Andres Torres feature match after being supposedly banned. That was, Konami, I don't know what you're doing with that one, but you know what? That's fine. We also, oh my god, we also got to see Blizzard show up in a feature match. And for everybody, it's like, Blizzard? Yeah, it's a card that basically gives you a negate bounce, effectively. And then all other cards that are played for the rest of that turn that have like the same name as the card that was bounced are negated, which absolutely was hilarious. Kind of watch show up in a feature match and just have Hunter's opponent go, well, what's going on here? Yes, Blizzard, it's seen a little bit of play in the past, but it hasn't been anything like too particularly like dominating outside of that. Now, of course, I've read the countless reports from people getting stuff stolen. That's the way it happens every single YCS. I wish I could be more optimistic about that, but unfortunately, that's just one of the lesser things. Outside of that, from what we've seen in combination for the very early parts of Swiss, Mystic Mine was a goddamn annoyance for this event. The feature matches for the earlier stages of the day went pretty much the way you would expect. Jesse Cotton giving the swiftest 2-0 that we've seen with the Predaplant build all day. It also went to kind of show like how, frail the Sword Soul deck can actually be, because I am one of those people that, will only open up the normal summon Moyi and I get impermed every time. I feel the struggle of that Sword Soul player getting his key part just negated. I'm used to that at the end of the day. So I feel the pain of that. You think you're having a good day and then all of a sudden it's normal summon Moyi and you're like, oh, nope, imperm. Time to call it a day. So outside of that, as we proceed on into Top Cut here, I am particularly interested to see what will happen. I hope to see that Earth player get into Top Cut from the last part of the day. That would be actually awesome, all things considered here. And I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what other little stops and things that Konami will pull out here for the rest of this event. And you know what? I think that it might be Sword Soul's time to win this event. Considering the fact they were the highest represented deck here, wouldn't that be a very interesting little thing to see? Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.